we may have or may have not just went ahead and possibly abducted the leader's father for ransom.
I haven't taken a shit in a week. It's the pale one, Herr Grant.
Yes.
What is the nature of his power?
Manipulating blood throughout the air. I don't know, sensing heartbeats, perhaps.
He claims that I don't have a heartbeat, that I'm not made of flesh and blood.
Have you tested if you have a heartbeat? And you didn't sense anything.
It's as if I'm dead.
Would you miss your son if he were to die?
He strains against, and he makes these noises as he strains against it, almost trying to break out even more. What is your business here?
Special delivery for Mr. Escher.
My boy, to be honest, I came looking for you after I came to light. For some reason, you have joined up with these hooligans. The guy says to Escher, go now. You know this is what you want. He pulls the trigger, but the gun is no longer pointing at Sergei, it is pointing at his father. Unfortunately, Vox, it is your turn and I need you to make our first death saving throw for the game.
Excellent. Oh fuck. Our first death save is a failure, ladies and gentlemen.
You all hear and a laser of light just with incredible noise and sound fires from somewhere.
Let's just go for another net 20.
One can.
That is a nat 1. That is a nat 1.
So you watch as the claws streak across your body. You just hear the bending and rending of metal. These 3 large gashes are over your chest, and a turquoise light now shines from where those gashes are have been put on you. And he just looks down, green light shines out, and I think everyone looks over at Shiloh in this moment with that green light shining from his body.
Shiloh, the large individual that you had just plunged your blade into, I've had right about enough of your little tricks, middleman. He wrenches down on you for 2 attacks. That is going to be a 21 to hit for the first one.
Yeah, that is.
You take only 4 points of slashing damage as he wrenches in further into your open and exposed chest. As you look down at your stomach, you just feel claws wrench up your chin as he uppercuts you, but it's not like a punch, it's like claws just slashing across your neck area. You indeed take 9 points of slashing damage from this one.
Shiloh's goggles have been glowing since his arm transformed, and it just flickers, and it turns off, and Shiloh just falls on his back.
You almost become stiff, and you just with a loud metallic crack, you fall to the ground. Now that's that, and his neck cracks, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just run up towards you, Alora. End of that. Vox, it is your turn.
As this meth-head brute makes his way towards Alora, he's met with another black lightning bolt hitting him in the face. 21 to hit.
That is going to hit.
He takes 21 chaos damage.
How do you want to do this?
I think as he just bodies Shiloh into the mud, he kind of just starts doing the thing on all fours again, where he just starts leaping towards Alora. And I think just as he attempts to pounce on her, his hind legs kind of squeeze in to make that leap towards her. Just as he vaults into the air, I think there's just this inverted sound of lightning coming from a distance, just this ominous cracking, and within a moment's notice, he just gets impaled by several streaks of black lightning, and he almost just gets reduced to steam.
Having this fucking explosion of gore behind him, Grant is just gonna kind of reach behind him while still looking at this guy who just bludgeoned him in the face, and just pull that blood and his own into this blood spear. It just looks like a frozen red icicle as he casts Conjure Blood Weapon. He will then, like, while holding the spear, just kind of, like, stamp it on the ground, and then you see the blood around Silas just, like, congeal and flow back up towards him. As he also casts transfusion. Silas heals for 6, and I take 6. Oh, see, you guys are the bad ones, not us.
Seeing as his brother just got blasted, I think Alexander will, like, I would say, he dismisses his rage, but then he gets very angry because somebody's trying to murder his brother and re-enter rage. That will be a 7. Okay. This doesn't fit my character at all, but flowers and vines temporarily grows around me, and within 15 feet of me is difficult terrain for enemies. I just look at a fog number 3 in front of me and I was like, there's no escape now, and then I'm gonna swing at his head with my axe. For a 13.
That just hits.
Oh, thank
They're
goodness.
not very dexterous.
For a whopping 8 points of damage.
Remember rage damage?
+2 from rage.
Yeah, that's 10 points of damage.
Okay, you slash into this guy, leaving a deep gash in his body. He looks very, very hurt, but not down yet. Turn Sergei, it is your turn, bloodied and bruised, and a sort of searing mark of the green beam that has just struck you sort of in the abdominal area. What are you doing?
Sergei, close to death, so he is also more mad. So I'm gonna bonus action rage again. This time I'm gonna enhance my jaw. So the tail retracts back onto my shirt, and then steam starts blowing out of the metallic teeth in my jaw. And before, while he was talking, the jaws weren't moving, but now they seem to start separating, and he just yells out like a big scream, and then he tries to chomp down on Escher. 23 to hit.
That does hit.
So he takes 12 piercing damage, and as his blood seeps into my jaw, I heal for 2 hit points.
Oh shit. You just crunch into his shoulder. He screams out,
Yeah.
"What the hell!" And he freaks out and just sort of quickly, dexterously wrenches and very painfully wrenches his arm from your jaws, and he's just like, "You people are crazy!" Laura, it is your turn with Solon on deck.
That Silas is already up. She's gonna cast Healing Word on Shiloh, and he heals for 7 points.
Charlotte, as you're knocked unconscious, you float in a weird liminal space. You see these streaks of light in this dark abyss-like area flit by you in a very orderly pattern. Upon closer investigation, notice that these are in fact strings of zeros and ones that just dance across this space, and it seems they're all emitting from somewhere in this place.
I think if Shiloh could move, he would move probably towards the light.
You begin to turn to see where the source of these holographic zeros and ones are, and what you find when you turn around is a glowing, massive glowing orb that burns like the hottest white sun you've ever seen. You peer into this light, you blink a few times, and you swear you see images, millions of images that dance and swirl within this core of some sort. As you peer in, you hear a collection, a cacophony of voices. Upon closer investigation, you notice that that is in fact the audio feed from all of these holographic screens that are across this core. You hear a voice in it. I want him to be self-sustaining. I do not wish for someone else to need to repair him. When he gets hurt, it must not be something we must toil on. I will design the vessel to be able to self-repair, to respond to the healing magic. I'm not losing you again. And with that, this images glow brighter, and you're pushed away from this core, almost like an explosion of like negative gravity or like anti-gravity, and eventually the like periphery of your vision warps, almost like black hole-esque, and inverts strangely, and when you blink once, you notice a point of light that gets brighter with the warping of space around it, and a few static noises. You notice you sit up as you are healed.
Okay, once again, my goggles light up, as well as the scars that was put into my stomach also emits the turquoise light once again.
Just gonna. Fuck it, I'm just gonna attack thug number 2. He is directly in the path, so.
You're gonna bite him, or you're gonna maul
Yeah,
him?
I'm gonna bite him.
So the jaw just makes like pneumatic like sound.
Oh, nat 20. Let's go.
Let's go.
My poor people.
12. Okay, I rolled a 2 on the 1 dice. Yeah, okay, 12 piercing.
How do you want to do this? They have 11
Okay.
points.
So my left hand grabs him on the top of the head, and my right hand like grabs him on the torso, and I start like pulling his head, and then my jaw basically just bites straight through his neck, decapitating him. And I like rip his head off with my left hand, and I just look at Escher, and then I just start moving forward.
Escher like backs up, but he feels the cold embrace of the steel beam behind him, and he's like, just pointing the gun like between the two barbarians. He can't choose which one is more dangerous at this point. As he backs
Nice.
up, pointing his gun, these ethereal vines from your crystal just slowly creep up his legs, making it difficult to raid for him. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as I look him in the eyes, I just say, "Run, make this fun."
Let's get a bit wacky with it. Grant has a very stupid idea. He's going to step towards Jador and just whisper in his ear. Okay. I have a plan. Pretend like I'm about to kill you. Like pretend I'm hurting you, okay?
What? Make a persuasion check.
3?
He just pays you no mind. He's focused on his son, unfortunately.
I see. I cast Rain on him.
Okay. We're doing this apparently. I believe he succeeds. Desperate Father can do crazy things, but he rolls like a natural 15 plus 2, so 17.
He does succeed. Half damage. He takes. And I low rolled. He takes 3 damage. 2. 2, sorry.
But what are you doing? As you just grab his arm, and his arm begins to sort of wither away as the blood leaves it.
Hear me now. If you don't surrender, I'll suck him dry.
He does sort of like almost he gets this little fright, jolt as he looks over at you, and he looks almost surprised to see that his father is still alive. But yeah, he looks a bit distraught now, even, I would say.
One last chance. I swear, I'll kill him.
Okay. There's no way for me to get out of this anyway. I give up.
Oh, thank God. I didn't actually want to kill you, and I cast Transfusion on him to heal him. Still grabbing him by the throat, just pumping blood.
The guy's
into
like,
him.
what the? The guy's like, I think Mr. Foulon is the right person to tell about this. Alright? You're out now. Help us catch them. Or help Mr. Foulon catch them, rather. And maybe in the future you can return to a normal life. Live out those dreams that you once had. Maybe still have. Escher goes, shit. Well,
Well, I think that's a job well done. No?
Grant, we're still busy talking.
Oh, sorry.
Escher goes, shit. Alright, it's fine. From my captain tells me, the people that we work for sent that person, the red jacket one, as sort of insurance that the package should be picked up. It was extra muscle for us to get it to safety. We don't really know what they use the Euleri for. We just know that if we give it to them, they might notice a small-time gang like, well, the Ravens was, and take us into their ranks, give us more power and influence over this city.
You said they were involved in the higher echelons of society, if I'm not mistaken.
No! They want to take care of the higher echelons of society.
I would say at this point, Alexander will look at Sergei and just be like, we've heard this spiel before.
And who might that be? A higher echelon people thingies?
It is any and all of those born of high esteem, especially those who have magic running in their blood. They believe themselves better than us low lives down here, just because the natural world blessed them with whatever the fuck runs through their veins. The world is unequal because of sorcery, because of nobility. We want to end that.
Shiloh suddenly just appears. He wasn't really in the crowd, but he kind of pushes himself through to get to Escher with his arm still in the blade. And Shadow's like, he looks rough. His clothes are dirty, as well as his face from the dust and from, just all of the things. And his clothes are torn. And he looks quite rough. And he just walks with a purpose towards Escher. And he just walks to stand, and he stands right in front of him. And he just asks, do you know the one who has a bird mask?
Make an insight check immediately. He shuts up the moment you say that.
Okay, that's not bad. That's a 16.
He clearly knows something.
Wonderful. Finally. I think he leans in and just almost whispers into his ear, I will pay you a visit soon. And he just retracts into the rest of the group.
Shiloh, before you can recoup with the rest, if you turn your head in Vox's direction, his finger is just kind of pointing in the direction of your abdominal area where you were cut, and he's just pointing at the blatant machinery that's underneath all the fabric.
Shiloh notices that you do that, and he'll just glance at the blade and almost as if he's a bit self-conscious, kind of just ignores it, or rather he would just hold it up and just look at it for a moment.
What a strange individual.
Sylvester just whispers to Vox.
Right, that is another can of worms we have to open up. I got it! I don't know how the fuck it's possible. Shiloh, it is very apparent that you are some kind of machine. An automaton, if you will. What the fuck is up with that?
It wouldn't be that, weird though. I mean, lack of emotion? No offense, Shiloh, obviously, but I mean, for me it kind of makes sense.
This is fascinating, my boy. And he sort of grabs your arm and looks over it.
He rips his arm away.
Oh, stop it. I've never seen a human-shaped automaton before. Nonetheless, the sophisticated technology that you seem to be constructed out of, and you have a personality and everything. Might even, I don't know. It almost feels like you have a soul, but that's not possible.
Does Alora sense a bit of he's almost not letting people see it because he hasn't really come to terms with it himself, or he's embarrassed about it?
Make an insight.
I think, yeah, I'll let you know what exactly he's feeling.
Grant just chimes in.
What's a 10?
See, I knew you was a fake. It's not real.
Alora, he's quite stone-faced, however, uncharacteristically quiet. And Grant, at that comment, Shiloh turns around and walks away from the group.
We are going to have to talk about this eventually, Shiloh. Avoiding your issues isn't going to solve them. Shiloh! He'll be back. There are too many unanswered questions for him here. Right. Jador, please, let us walk you back to the Toad Princess.
I think before Sergei would do that, he wants to say something to Escher. Your father sacrificed so much for you. Having your rage being misused by other people is a dangerous, dangerous game. You're pathetic. And yeah, he'll turn around and go back to the crate.
Persuasion or intimidation check.
13.
He takes that, he almost begins weeping, and he says, "The Crimson Dawn! That's who we're working for."
Alexander has an expression like he kind of knew it, but he cringes at the mention of this name.
Laura, just before you start walking with the rest, I think you just feel I'd say you'd walk and then all of a sudden Vox just kind of weirdly walks right in front of you, almost as if it's like intentional.
Mr. Vox, can I help you?
I think he just kind of stares you down a bit. He doesn't say anything, but after like 5 seconds of awkward nothingness, it looks like he's about to pull a knife out of his freaking cloak. But instead of a knife, it's just his hand, and he's showing you a thumbs up.
And Laura's face is beaming.
He turns around and fucks off immediately.
She instantly runs to Grant and Silas, and she's like, "You guys won't believe what I just got. You're gonna be so jealous."
With that, let's do Shiloh first. Actually, no. Actually, yes. No? Wait, hang on. Just give me 1 second. Okay, Shiloh, you first.
Don't toy with my emotions like this.
Shiloh, what the fuck are you up to?
So, Shiloh originally was just prowling the streets as he ponders, I think, a memory that he already has, amongst the very few that he has, pops up. And he remembers the bunker in which he woke up not very long ago. And he, this entire time, has been making his way back towards that bunker.
You sort of, in the middle of the night, pull up at one of the Alvida train stations, walk up there. There's sort of an operator, is sort of this woman smoking a cigarette, wearing like steampunk clothing. Is this the time to be coming to the train station, darling? Last train's almost about to leave for the night.
Well, then give me that one, please. And he puts the coin on the table. Can I make a history check? Because I believe Shiloh would definitely... This won't be his first time on this train, right? That's a 17.
The doors open. You get onto the train. There's like one other like person there. And you get on. The conductor walks past. Tickets, please. Tickets, please. There are not a lot of you, but I still need to do this. It's my fucking job. And he punches your ticket, and as the train powers up, you feel it lift off of the ground a few inches and begin moving, and it's almost like when you look outside, they're almost like these lines of the lights of the city. That's how fast this thing is going. Just as you go, you pass column after column that are built next to the train tracks, and after what, and then suddenly when you pass one column, it's daytime. Shiloh. The train is filled with people chatting businessy stuff, bourgeoisie things. And as the train moves, you feel a warm presence grab onto your hand. You're sort of like sitting with your two hands on the seat. You feel a warm presence. You look over. All that you see is a silhouette of a light, not too dissimilar from the core, that luminous sphere that you saw in that previous vision. You see the soft lips of some female warmly smiling at you, and you feel a warm sensation. The train continues on. You pass, one of the columns passes the screen again, and you're just sitting there alone once again at night. The train goes past, another column goes past you. And once again, late afternoon, the sun is setting as deep oranges and reds shine across the land through the windows of the Alvida. And you feel a presence. You look over and you see it's another one of these inverted silhouettes, points of light with memories flashing through them. And this one's familiar. You've seen this one in a memory before. It was a voice that spoke to you, or that you heard when you were looking at when you had the memory about the hemomancy documents, and about it was that, and there was memory previous to that. But you remember, this is the same like feeling you get from this individual, and you like a part of the memory statics, and a few memories flit over, and it's like reveals a like shoulder of a business suit. It flicks for a moment. A flash of a tie around this guy's neck, but then it becomes light again, and a mouth appears from memory and just says, "You know, you can't go to that school, right? I won't let you. We've had this conversation before. It's not right for you. You should remain by my side. I know everything there is to know about artifice. I could teach you, my boy. There's no need for you to be putting your nose in with those nobles." You pass another column during the daytime. As it passes the screen, you're alone again.
I think the one other person that, once I come back from remembering these things, the one other person on the train looks at me with absolute terror, as for the past 10-20 seconds, I have just been sitting there upright, just staring blankly in front of me, and my goggles just flashing these colors. We're holding this bag on my lap.
And he like grabs his bag and he just moves to the car over it, like and the train stops at a train station within the bourgeoisie district, and you navigate your way towards where you last remember this bunker was. And you go, and you're met with a giant iron gate and very tall walls around this estate. Yes, it was an estate where this place was built on, you now recall. And it says in beautiful, like, iron typography made out of the bent iron, Attaway on above the gate.
I think Shiloh would maybe just stand against the wall and he will keep an eye on the patrols and just wait for it to be clear. And he will try to maybe just sneak in, maybe lock picking the gate.
We're going to call this a stealth check. That is to sort of see the patrols and then stealthily move over.
That is a 4 on the stealth.
You're illuminated in torchlight. Well. Who the hell are you? Put your hands where I can see them.
Yeah, I just subtly just drop the lockpick and I hold up my hands. My apologies. I thought this place was abandoned.
Make a deception check.
Oh, that's okay, because it's a 17.
Right. Well, it's not. You can be on your merry way, thank you.
If you don't mind, I have some questions about this place. You see, it appears that I am in some way from here, and it has to do with that burned down building.
Make a persuasion check. Yeah, alright, buddy. You just look like another one of those street urchins trying to make a quick buck from sneaking in to a noble estate. You're coming with us. And they begin walking towards you. And the one takes out handcuffs.
Yeah, I just bolt southwards or something.
Just into the city.
The first alleyway I see, I just go into.
They begin chasing after you, navigating through the city, and you like skid out of an alleyway. You want to turn left, and they immediately come barreling around that corner. They've caught up to you essentially, and they're right on your heels. You sort of see like a ladder. You climb up the ladder, get onto a roof, begin walking across a like pipe or something that leads to the roof to the next side, hoping to lose them on the roof. But the guy sees you, and he pulls out his pistol and he fires at like the right side of this pipe that you're balancing on. The bullet hits the pipe, it breaks, and you fall, taking 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And they're about 30 feet away from you, closing in
Ouch.
on you. You run into an alleyway, and you see 2 Grand Garrison officers block your path as you're running in the alleyway. You stop, shit, and you turn around, and another 2 flank you on the other side of the alleyway.
Is there a window by any chance
Make a
in this
percep-
alleyway?
I'm going to say there is a window, but
Where?
it's 20 feet up the wall.
It's already put up. Is there by any chance like crates or something that I can parkour off of?
I would say with the 12 perception, yes, but they're not in a optimal position. It's going to be a hard DC, athletics or acrobatics. Here's the choices you have in front of you.
Okay.
Kicking the crate will require an action. It will allow the people to get very close to you, but you will be able then to have a lower DC. But there might be a risk of them catching you because they'll get to you. Or
Okay, fair
you
enough.
can take the risk and have a higher DC, but ultimately it's up to you.
I think I will maybe attempt to jump with a new. I'll risk the higher DC. It's gonna be an athletics, right?
Athletics or acrobatics, I'm going to tell you the DC right now
Yeah, okay.
is going to be 17.
That's very high. It's very high. I think maybe Shiloh needs to call it. I think that would be the smartest thing to do now. The most logical thing, actually. So I think Shiloh maybe looks at the possible... No, screw it. Athletics check. Let's do this. And I fail. That's a 15.
You Second crate. Your finger, the point of your middle finger, just grazes over the piece of metal to this balcony, and you crash into a bunch of crates. And you
I just stay laying down on the ground. I don't stand up.
the many faces of the Grand Garrison officers peer over you. Like,
Well, can't blame me for trying.
handcuffs are placed on your arms. One guy goes, "Wait a moment. You're supposed to be dead."